Hello, welcome to section 6, part C of SAS programming course. We continue where we left off in the previous part. So in part B, we covered quite many different examples on how to use SGPlot procedure to draw different kinds of plots. And now we look into another procedure, which is this SGPANEL procedure. And the same plot types can pretty much be used in the as we did in the SGPlot with exactly the same plot statements. But the difference with this panel procedure, SGPANEL, is that we can use in addition this panel by statement where we put a grouping variable so that each level of the grouping variable will have its own panel in the resulting paneled image. And one technical detail is that this panel by statement must appear before the plot statements in the code, as we see in the next examples. So first example is this bar chart where we want to have a different panel for several subgroups. So that's why we have here, first of all, the name of the procedure is now the SGPANEL. And in the panel by statement, we have two grouping variables. We have, first of all, age group, and then we have gender. And we actually have a where statement where we say that the age group not equal 61 to 75 years. So we want to exclude that one age group away from this end result. So we will have three different age groups in the end result. And also we have, after the slash here in the panel by statement, we have the columns option, which we can use to define that we only want to have two columns in the paneled image, meaning that we will have two these little plots so that there's only two next to each other. And in the vbar statement, we define the actual plot, saying that we want to have a vertical bar chart so that each country will have its own bar. And the response is sale amount, so the length of the bar will be defined by the sale amount variable. And that's how we get this one. So we have as the x-axis variable, we have the countries here, and y variable is the sale amount, and we have a different panel for each age group and gender combination. So six of these altogether. Yeah. Then we go into how we could influence the appearance of the images we get as end result. This applies to all of these procedures: SGPlot, SGPANEL, and scatter. And one way is that we can change the appearance of the resulting images in a single command by changing a so-called style definition, so ODS style. That's one way to do it, but also there is a lot of options available for editing individual appearance aspects in these images. So you should look into SAS help to find out more about all of these details you can edit using different options. So these meaning things like in scatter plots, you can change the marker, you can change the color of the marker, you can change different kind of axis details and so on. But now we look into this one one change to make big differences. So using these different styles. Here is first an example where we have drawn this bar chart using the default style. So we have drawn this bar chart from variable gender. So there's one bar for females, one for males, and then as the group variable we have country. So we have these different sections in the bar for each country, representing each country, and we are saying that that it's drawn so that the response variable is sale amount, and it's a sum. Sum is the statistic that used to calculate the length of the bar. So this is the color palette that we have when we use the default style. But if we change so that we in this ODS statement we define that the style equals festival, then we are changing the style definition to festival, and that makes it so that we have these kinds of changes in the image. So first of all, the biggest detail you see is that the color palette changes, but also there might be some other changes, like if we look at how these are in bold, and if we go back to the default, they were in normal text and so on. So there, it's not just the color palette, but other details are changed simultaneously. Another example is meadow. Style equals meadow, where we get this kind of graph. And notice that you can change the style definition. It's done here in the ODS HTML definition because the output was put into HTML destination as a default, but you can also use other ODS destinations. We will have in the next section a little bit more information about these ODS destinations. So you can then come back here and maybe think about that. Additional style I recommend is the style equals journal. I'm saying here that for researchers, but maybe for other professionals just as well, because this journal style is maybe a little more simple one using black and white color scheme, and usually quite minimalistic, but quite stylish one. So that's often a good one to use in practice. Here's also a little more advanced examples I've taken from this very good SAS book by Matange and Heath from 2011. This one image that also all of these quite nice looking images, they are also made with SAS. Maybe it's not so. When I have scanned this for my slides, the sharpness has suffered a little bit, but you can still see that they are quite nice looking images with a lot of detail in them. So all this is possible with the SAS procedures by combining different options and statements and tools that you can use to create nice graphics. Then when you create a nice plot, it's also important to get it exported as external image file. One way to do that, simple way, might be that you can copy and paste sometimes the graphs, or you can maybe take a screenshot. But usually, if you really want to use the images in some articles or something, the quality is maybe not good enough by using these simple ways. But one way is that if we use this so-called ODS listing destination, that provides us the widest range of image file types we can use. And here you can see a list of several image file types that you can use with that definition. And next we have an example how you then do that. First of all, in this ODS listing statement, we can already define GPath option, which lets us define a folder where we are saving the image file. Then we can define the ODS style. We have chosen the journal here as I recommended. And in addition, as the last detail in this ODS listing statement, we can also define the image DPI option, and I have chosen it to be 300. And then this statement ends with the semicolon here. Then we also have ODS graphics statement to set up some other details. First of all, we say we are resetting it, so nothing from past cases we have maybe run in SAS, they wouldn't affect, so we reset first. Then we can set that the image name is a test image. We can here set the output format, which is PNG. That's one from the long list we saw on the last slide. And also we can set height and width of the image. I have put 5 centimeters and 10 centimeters here, but you can also use other units instead of centimeters if you prefer. And then after all these details, we have the actual SAS code to produce the image. So SGPANEL is used with the data experiment. We say we want each location as a separate panel in the image. Then we want a scatter plot with nutrient as X variable, yield as Y variable, and we want the column axis to be discrete. This is actually a useful option to keep in mind because that's used when you have a numeric variable in SAS, but you want to treat it in the image as you would categorical variable. Then you can define this type equals discrete to do so. That often, for example, you might get nicer scale on the axis when you do this. And then when we are done, this is the procedure to produce us the image. We also want to close some of these options we set up in the beginning. So we are saying ODS listing close, that closes the ODS destination listing one. And then we also say that ODS graphics and reset. So we want to reset also the options we set in this part here. And that should give us testimage.png in this folder with all these details we set up here. Yeah, thank you.